the pharaohs, okay, I have to generalize, but back in that time of the pharaohs, when they were at their god level, although they were at the human bodies, they knew what was going to happen 5,000 years in the future. They knew that we were just going to just be decimated, desecrated, and this whole civilization was just going to crumble, and black people were just going to be demolished, basically. So they wrote the different holy books, and they made up the different languages, and they hid the magic in different forms so that later you could rediscover the shit. And only in America and the UK and Europe you can rediscover it, because that's where the shit's hidden. That's where the shit's hidden. You're not going to get that shit in Africa. And the main modus, what is it? Modum operandi? I forgot how you say the word. But anyway, the medium of language is English. So surely, a lot of people on the mainland, not all of them, but a lot of them are not speaking English. The colonized people are, but the fact is that the sacred books, the occult books, the stuff that tells you what really the hieroglyphics say about these modern times as a prediction, the books weren't stored in no fucking Africa, okay? And there is too much limited thinking in Africa. They're stuck in tradition too much to be open enough to accept this kind of information. And only black people in the West, meaning America, are the ones that can get it, that can have access to the information, can comprehend the information, and has lived with the beast personally for over 400 years or so, or more. So they know the beast inside out. And that is exactly what Bobby Hemmett said. I'm just retelling what Bobby Hemmett said. So that's why you get the brunt. And more than the brunt. I mean, you are the number one candidate for destruction, because the rise of the ancestors and the awakening of your spiritual self, which will bring back your higher self, which I know sounds a little crazy, but it's not, because you have a spiritual self and you have a physical self, and we're disconnected from that. And I think I explained this before, is that your ancestors collectively make up your spiritual self. So anyway, that's how you can have a higher self and lower self, because you are the current, most updated, upgraded reincarnation of all the ancestors. So you are the one that can do something physically. You are the one they can operate through, but you have to wake up on the inside to know that. And once you know that, okay, they're going to be like, good, he's awake now. Good. Let's go ahead and download the information to him of understanding. Now we can activate ourselves more. Now he knows that we're up here, so to speak. I mean, that's really how it's operating now. And the beast knows that. And why do you think he has a fucking Hadron Collider? What is that other thing he has? The Hadron Collider. I need to write down some notes, because I don't have it internalized, all the shit he has. Why does Vatican have a supersonic telescope called Lucifer? Yeah, the Hadron Collider is the name that I'm trying to think of. That's the same thing as the Hadron Collider. And then now, on top of that, why do you think we have fake coronavirus? By all means necessary, your destruction is necessary. On a DNA level. Your mind is obliterated already. And that's why they make sure they get rappers that are, oh my gosh. You get these stupid rappers. No offense if you like rap. But we're so unconscious we're not even listening to what they're actually saying, which is a whole bunch of gobbledygook bullshit. Nothing. And they actually have the power to make curses. Those rhymes are actually curses. And what I mean is that music can music can uplift, build up, heal, and it can also destroy. So they're having these rappers say all this bullshit to be destructive, to tear down people. And then they have everybody on the net tearing down black people. They have mixture of black people who are the God energy tearing down their own people. And one thing I can't get over is how black men, and I don't get on any bandwagon about black men, okay? But I'm just pointing out something, because I just look at all kinds of things on the internet. Black men have channels where they berate a black woman. But I don't understand why they don't get, why don't they see the other fellow black woman as their mother? When you talk about a black woman, you're talking about your mother. You essentially are talking about your mother. If you're spewing any kind of hate to any black person, I don't get it. But they're unconscious. Unconscious means you're just a robot following trends, living off emotion, and you are not self-aware. You're not aware of yourself. You're not seeing truth. You don't actually see reality. You're just like in this zone of being a robot, and actually you have something, there's a emotional energy that you're feeding, a negative energy that you keep feeding. So the more you do it, the more you want to do it. It's actually called a pain body, but I'm not going to get into explaining that. That I learned from Eckhart Tolle. So anyway, I still didn't read the thing about that pertains to Beyonce. But I know that I am somewhat rambling, but I just want to, like I said before, just tell you anything that I can. Anything I possibly can. Something new to you. And especially, like, some of these things, if you're on the Bobby Hemmett frequency, you don't need to, you will turn this off or whatever, because maybe you will turn it off because you already know. You already know what's up. Some of the things that some of the videos, I'm trying to reach the person that completely doesn't know. So what do I have to do? I can't jump in at Bobby Hemmett level research. I can't start posting some 1-hour video talking about Bobby Hemmett, because they're not going to get it. I mean, Bobby Hemmett is so prolific that you are just going to be dumbfounded if you are not on the level, on the frequency, 1.1% away from the frequency. You have to be like only 1 degree away from his frequency. let's say his frequency is 360 degrees of knowledge, you need to be at 359 degrees of knowledge already. Like, as far as your brain being ready for it. Because my brain was ready for it as soon as I didn't doubt him. And also, actually, I have to say that I'm just lucky because I haven't been, I didn't have to get over the church hurdle because my parents didn't go to church. I tried to discover that shit on my own, but I finally figured out it was bullshit. It was total, utter bullshit. I tried. You know, I was in a fucking Pentecostal church. And when that shit wasn't happening, I was like, okay, forget it. And I was in college then, so I was alone, so I was seeking some kind of comfort. And church is comforting to people, so that's why they go to it. It makes you feel like you belong to something, a family, and you know, people are pretending to be nice and shit like that, and you get to have your little Sunday school brunches and free meals and all this other bullshit without talking about anything real. So anyway, I think that's what helped. I was not indoctrinated by my family with church. I tried to seek it out myself, but luckily I found out it was just total bullshit. And, you know, I never became loyal to any of it. And then at one point I just went just for socialness. I mean, I didn't go religiously. I didn't go every Sunday, but with this other white senior lady that was a friend of mine, just sometimes we would go. Just sometimes I like, okay, let's go to this church. All right, let's go to this other church. We would just be church hopping. Not that much. Maybe 4 times we went to a church, and I found it interesting because though I was walking into doors that I never walked into before. It's very interesting to go check out new churches. And these were white churches. This was white churches. Episcopal church. I found it interesting as how they, quote unquote, supposedly worshiped. And then one was a Presbyterian church, and I lived directly across the street from that place. I mean, that place was like, I don't even know if you could say 30 meters. It was literally just across the street on a single lane road across the street from me. And anyway, it was interesting. I mean, I just went with her just for fun. And a lot of times she invited me, I didn't go because I just didn't feel like it. So anyway, that's my backstory, okay? So what I'm telling you, bottom line, it's all from Bobby Hemmett research. And now I am just trying my best with the last generation of me to leave something that can be worthwhile in this world. Because only spiritual growth is worthwhile. That's it. Nothing else matters. So I may be rambling, but some of my rambling may light you up. Light up that pineal gland. Inspire you. Even if it's a whole fucking month later, 6 months later, 1 year later. When you hear truth, if you're near the frequency, you have to be near the frequency, you are going to eventually open up like a flower. Because it has to. It has to. Now, if you're too dead, if you're just a dead zombie, you know, believing that we went to the moon and believing that, you know, Obama was a good president and he didn't do anything, he didn't do any wars or anything or drop bombs on people. And believing that your vote, that you actually vote, that America is the land of the free, home of the brave, and democratic, if you're that dead, oh God, then you know, you won't be listening to me. Okay, you will just say, you know, within the first minute, you'll be like, you know, you'll just tune out. Okay, or you'll put a thumbs down because you can't accept a new thought. So anyway, let's get on this here. It says, and I researched the photo of the black man. Let me look at it right now. You can't see, he's leaning against a tree. He's leaning against a tree. I don't know if he was tied to that tree. He probably wasn't tied to that tree, but why? Just, there's somebody taking a photo of him. This is not, and the guy is buck naked. Buck or butt naked. Either one of those things will work. Zero clothes on. A healthy black man. And allegedly, although I can see that this is Lady Gaga, but some of you will be, you know, you're too much in a coma to see it. Looking at him, and then allegedly this Marina Abramovic. But I think she has an H on there. I thought she has an H on there. Anyway, I just read her name. All right, so anyway, let's read this thing here. And mind you, what is my whole point? Beyonce was at the same event. Now, whether she was at this little after party segment, and I'm saying that sarcastically, I highly doubt she was at this little segment, but she was at the opening credits of this shit. Oh, and let me explain something else, because I started to talk about rituals, but I didn't finish. At the spirit cooking, they are cutting cakes that are shaped like human replicas, full body replicas of naked people. Now, what kind of cake do you think is on the inside of that shit? If you want to research, you can see that it's a dark material in that cake representing your motherfucking melanin. That cake is representing you. No, they're not gonna, not at this particular event. They are not showing chocolate cakes with chocolate looking people. They're showing white people. But when you and I'm looking at it objectively. Like I said, I didn't even know that he went through all this hell because, you know, I was in school and doing other things, and I didn't know all that stuff happened to him at all. So that's the story on Michael. And I'm not going to summarize something to make a point about Michael. I'm just letting you know I might be busting your bubble for these celebrities, and that's what I have to do to bring consciousness to somebody. So let's get back to Beyonce here. Now, you know she has a pretty squeaky clean image, and but she's, you know, an Illuminati queen. If she's at that spirit cooking, please look up the spirit cooking. You know what? I'm going to make another video real quick, and it will just have all the photos from the spirit cooking. Just so you can become awake. So anyway, and the only leaked photo shows that I can make this topic relevant to black people is the one about Beyonce. Because there's no other photos that show other black celebrities. I'm sure they were there, one or two, but she's at the tip top. She is like the Black Madonna. And I mean that figuratively. I mean that she is on the same level as a puppet for the black masses to follow and be fooled and play this game of I'm pro-black, I like my blackness, I have some African dancers, I can raise a black power fist, I can look angry while I'm dancing and be pro-black, yeah, fight the power. And all that is just, I don't know the psychological name for it, but it's just being two-faced. It's playing both sides. Like, it's appeasing the sheeple. Because on one hand, you have all kinds of injustices, all kinds of murders of black people happening weekly, monthly, all kinds of shit. All kinds of white people calling the cops on black people that are not doing anything but being a normal person. And so on the other side, it's like whipping a kid and then giving them cake. So Beyonce's the cake. Oh, well, she gets to have a family. Well, let's see how long that lasts. Let's see when her mother gets sacrificed or something like that. Oh, look at Beyonce. She gets to have a family. She's building a beautiful black family. She dresses like Oshun. Oh, she's showing that she's a black goddess. Oh yeah, bring the power. What is that? Fila. They funded the theatrical performance of Fila, some African play or whatever. Oh, she hired some African dancers. Oh, she's in the remake. I mean, the tired fucking. How many times can sheeple see that same fucking story? How many times can you see that fucking story? I mean, people are dead when they can see the same shit over and over and over and over again. Oh, she was in the remake of Lion King. Oh, and she's saying black people are king. All of that is meaningless talk. All of that is giving you candy after you got whipped as a slave. Because reality, Beyonce doesn't touch reality. And what I'm saying here, I'm saying truth. So if it goes against Beyonce, I'm just saying the truth. It's the truth. What Beyonce does and says is not reality. It has nothing to do with reality. It just is a feel-good thing for you to make you think that she is uplifting you in some kind of way. But how much dancing and singing can you really benefit from? How much fucking dancing and singing and stomping and twerking and wearing crotch cutters and flipping your hair and, you know, basically being a background dancer of her own background dancers. How much of that can you, I mean, the people are really under a spell here. They're under a spell. So, you try to tell me an excuse of why Beyonce's at the spirit cooking party. And the beast at this party, allegedly, or not even allegedly, you can just see what is happening. What's happening at the party is that they are doing a ritual, and a ritual is a reenactment of from your imagination for what you want to manifest. That is what a ritual is.